and welcome to Archie Luxury's Luxury Channel. Today I'd like to go through a few different articles that I've found over the last 10 years on the internet about watch collecting. And I thought this would make an interesting post, and I'd like to run some nice pictures that I've collected over the years, and I'd also wanted to read some interesting articles. So this first article here is titled "Watch Collecting: A Perspective from One Who Tried and Failed." Okay, so let's have a bit of a skim through that. Watch collecting is an interesting pursuit and can mean very different things to different people. There is no right answer, only what works for that individual. Some people enjoy a rotation of 3 to 10 watches, happily going to the safety deposit bank or safe to pull stuff off the winder. Others keep a few timepieces on hand, which they wear regularly, and they leave others wrapped in plastic for prosperity or investment. He's thinking about mainly Patek type investment collectors there. Then there are the fanatics for vintage Rolex or Panerai limited editions who enjoy fine details with each other and showing off to each other. He goes on to say, "I'm going to say straight up, despite having more than my share of neat watches along the way, I'm not a watch collector. Can't do it, and my failure isn't from a lack of trying. For me, the issue is this: the more I end up owning, the less enjoyment I ultimately have. In my attempt to gather a collection, I once got up to some 5 or 6 watches. The eclectic mix included Rolex, Roger Dubuis, Glashütte Original, IWC, and even a Cobalt dive watch. Somewhere along the line, pieces from Audemars Piguet and Chopard got subbed into the mix, while something else left. I honestly don't recall which it was at the moment, if you can believe that. The problem was, I really felt distracted and could never bond with any of the watches. Between trading, selling, and scheming for the next hot watch, I was too busy trying to figure out how to rotate everything so I wouldn't feel guilty for having spent so much money, but not giving each their due risk time. The not inexpensive servicing costs to keep the relatively elite and ever-shifting mechanical family properly maintained, once I started to think about it, was something of a turn-off. It's as tiring as it sounds, and I took away the personal lesson I needed from it all. 2 or 3 watches is what works for my needs. Give me a couple of well-differentiated and less frequently seen Rolex sports models for getting life done, and something truly superb. A Lange, Patek Philippe, a Vacheron, etc. on a strap for special occasions and general appreciation of traditional watchmaking. Okay, an AP Royal Oak Jumbo or Patek Philippe Nautilus would be dandy in this role too. Now we're on track, and I'm happy as a clam. Ironically, the 2 watches I owned 7 years ago, both sadly long traded off to pursue some new ticking trollic, fit that criteria to a T, and would have probably suited me perfectly for the rest of my life. A Rolex Sea Dweller and a Patek Philippe 5107 Calatrava. Talk about full circle, right? But live and let live. But live and learn. At heart, I have a lot of admiration or one watch ideal, even if I can't be quite that perfect. Watches just seem to mean so much more when you live in them day in and day out. Just look at some of the fine vintage pieces. They have so much character and in their own way tell the owner's life story. In the meantime, or until my preferences dramatically shift for some inexplicable reason, I'll enjoy my couple of daily wearers to the fullest and partake in the joys of watch collecting that it gives me. So let's have a look at that. There's a few really interesting things this guy's named here, and I kept this article because it kind of struck a T with me. And I gotta say, you know, that there's a few interesting points. There's no right or wrong answer on how many watches you should have. I mean, I've seen collections where people have had, 40, 50 watches, most of them mediocre sort of shit. You probably, that doesn't, it's not a numbers game for me. I think his thing is right. His aspersion is right where he says some people enjoy a rotation of 3 to 10 watches. I think that's probably the medium number of watches to have. That's quite an interesting argument there. So 3 to 10, and his comment I found. Well, I love the article because I do have a Patek 5107 also, but the way he says it there, he says. As tiring as it sounds, all he really needed was 2 or 3 watches. Give me a couple of well-differentiated and less frequently seen Rolex sports models for getting life done, like an Explorer 2, something that's not so in your face, and something truly superb on a strap for special occasions and general appreciation of traditional watchmaking. That's quite a fair point there, and I mean there's a lot to be said for having 2 really good pieces. You have your dream amazing piece like a Patek, and have say a good tool Rolex as an everyday piece. So that's quite an interesting article. I think that's a really good article on watch collecting, and it just makes you realize how many is perfect for you. And I know in my own collection I had 8 pieces, and I sold my Vacheron, and it's kind of destroyed, it's fucked the dynamics of the collection. And it's an interesting thing. I'm just in a bit of limbo now. I've sort of I'm just thinking about what's my next move. So there you have it. Thanks very much for watching this clip, and please let me know your opinions. Thank you.